Hey everybody, Wade Bloodgood here. I wanted to share some of my foraging finds today and let you guys know what each plant is or what fruit. So right here we got the maple leaf. These are the big ones too, the ones that get as big as your hands, the Canadian maple. And these you can eat raw. You can mix them into shakes or smoothies, things like that, or you can just eat them raw. They also, in Japan, actually dip them into puree batter and deep fry them and serve them as appetizers. That's one way of doing it. But if you're just out consuming raw plants that you can eat raw and they're safe to eat and they're good for you nutritionally, that is definitely abundant in areas that these maple trees are growing. Now here we got these are wild strawberries, and they're not very big, as you can see, like not even as big as my nail. Most of them are pretty tiny, but if you can gather up a whole bunch of them, you got yourself a nice little trail snack to eat up. And right next to those, these colorful flowers are these pink ones right here, and these white ones are clover. That's pink clover, and I guess the other one's white clover, although they don't call it white clover, it's just a clover. You can eat the flower tops, and you can eat the leaves of the clover, and they're really good for you. Right next to that, these flowers that you see here, that's what they call knapweed. And just the flower of knapweed is edible. No other part of the plant, but when it blossoms a flower, you can eat these little petals right here, and they have a little bit of nutrients and stuff in there for you. So moving on up, right here we got, these are just your standard dandelion leaves. There's a lot out here growing in different parts of the mountain. It's not as abundant as it is in the city. Actually, a lot of these things, like the clover, the dandelions, the maple leaf, the milk thistle, all of these things grow in town, in most cities, in most parks, in most big fields. You can find these things growing. So, yeah, so back at it here. This is elderberry flower, and the elderberry tree blossoms. You can eat the fruit and you can eat the flowers only. I believe out of the leaves you can make a tea, but you can't eat the leaves. Also, with the elderberry flower, just like the maple leaf, they'll dip that in a batter and fry that as well and serve them as appetizers. Another good thing too with these is making a tea, elderberry tea, soaking them in water. And then right over here we got these. They're really kind of prickly. They're milk thistle, and milk thistle's really good for you. It's really good to cleanse your liver, getting poisons and toxins out of your system. And even though it is got a texture and some prickly things on it, the whole plant in itself is edible. Just like the dandelion, the flower, the roots you can make tea. But with the milk thistle, you can eat the leaves, you can eat the stem, and you can eat the roots. Everything is completely consumable raw. All of these are foraging plants that you can find out in the forest out here in the Pacific Northwest. And this is just a small amount of foliage and berries that you can find while you're out in the woods. So as I've been out here, I've been really expanding myself as far as like the diversity of plant life that you can eat, and just trying to see what the real feasibility would be of somebody actually just living off plant matter fruits, vegetables, edible herbs, things like that, without having to fish or hunt. And I know one thing: if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, you'd really be you'd constantly be eating and foraging things and probably drying some things out to have later if you wanted to continue to consume the amount of calories and things that you'd need to sustain a good healthy life. Now, the good thing about all of this stuff is you might have to consume a lot of this stuff to get a huge amount of calories, but what you will get from all of this stuff is a mass amount of nutrients. You know, there are some good vitamins and nutrients in these plants right here, and you're not going to get them from processed food. You're not going to get that good, powerful food medicine and the good, valuable nutrients that are in things. 'Cause these things aren't processed. This is just natural stuff growing out in the wild that you can go pick and eat. And there's something about, to me, that just keeps talking to me while I'm out here, is just like, you know, the nutrients and having your body making sure it's got more than enough of what it needs to be a healthy body. And a lot of the times, you know, in the past, I've been confused with, you know, I've got to take calories in, and confusing calories with nutrition, or, you know, like something that's actually valuable to my life. So I can consume thousands and thousands of calories in a day. And I did learn that, you know, calories are just really equate to energy. So the more calories that you're consuming, you should really have more energy. Although a lot of people that do consume a lot of calories kind of get lethargic and don't really have a lot of energy to move around. But I'm just realizing for myself, like, nutrition and the valuable keys that nutrition offer your body above and beyond the energy factor of calories. So in taking a lot of these foods, you give me a lot of nutrients, maybe not a lot of calories. So I'm going to be looking into the particular type of foods that offer, you know, proteins and offer as much calories as possible, and keep y'all updated on different sources of food that you can find and the availability of it, and to let you all know, you know, is this something that you can go out and find a lot of very easily, or are these things that are kind of things you kind of got to look for and they're here or there? Where's the abundance of food at that we can find, and what are the seasons that we can find these foods? So these all right here are, you know, spring and summertime foods that come up. And there's a whole lot more here out in the mountains to be had. So this right here is a pretty good, healthy snack. And consuming all of this right here would definitely add to my belly. So that'll be the next video. Eating a salad made out of all this stuff right here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys like this video, please subscribe. And I'm really thankful for y'all being here and just sharing my journey of being out in the woods and in nature and learning more about being self-sustainable and knowing what I can eat without having to go to the grocery store all the time and spend the money, when there's a lot of food out in the wilderness that's free, and all you got to do is go out and gather it and pick it and dry it out, or there's a lot of different methods of things you can do with these things that you're finding. And most often, you know, like if you're just out hiking or in a survival situation where you need to have food, this is good trail snacks. These are snacks that can keep you getting a little bit of energy, a little bit of calories, and a little bit of nutrition while you're out there in the woods hiking around. Because, you know, I don't know what everybody else knows, but it's you burn a lot of calories, and it's a lot on your body every day if you're out in the mountains walking up hills and walking down hills. And if you're not consuming, like, you know, fish and meat products, like, you know, hunting your own game and stuff like that, you really got to get creative and figure out all the plants that are going to offer everything you need to be able to actually live and survive. Otherwise, I believe in time you just get weaker and wither away, and some other animal end up eating you instead. But that's that. Have a great day, my friends.